Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for July 26th, 2024. From the book of 2 Timothy, Faithful Forever, God's Unwavering Promise. Previously, we heard Paul write about the promise of reigning with Christ for those who endure. Paul examined the nature of Christian endurance in the face of trials and persecution. This also warns against the seriousness of denying Christ. Paul uses this to encourage believers to remain steadfast in their faith, relying on God's grace and strength. So let's continue with the book of 2 Timothy. From 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. Let us ponder for a moment the weight of these words. How often have we found ourselves stumbling in our faith? How many times have we fallen short of God's glory, doubting his promises, or turned away from his path? Yet, in those moments of weakness and unfaithfulness, our God remains steadfast. This verse is not a license for sin or apathy. Rather, it is a testament to the immutable character of our Lord. God's faithfulness is not a reaction to our behavior. God's faithfulness is an essential part of his very being. He cannot deny himself. He cannot act contrary to his nature, which is perfect love and faithfulness. So consider the comfort this brings to us as believers. In a world of shifting sands and broken promises, we have an anchor for our souls. When our own faith wavers, when we feel unworthy or disconnected from God, his faithfulness remains unshaken. This is the bedrock upon which our salvation stands. But why is God's faithfulness so crucial? Because without it, we would be lost. Our salvation does not depend on our ability to maintain perfect faith. If it did, who among us could be saved? Instead, it rests on the finished work of Christ and the enduring faithfulness of our God. This truth should inspire both gratitude and action in our lives. We respond to God's faithfulness not with complacency, but with a desire to grow in our own faith and obedience. We strive to reflect his consistency in our relationship with others and in our service to his kingdom. Moreover, God's unwavering faithfulness gives us hope for the future. In times of trial or persecution, when the world seems to be crumbling around us, we can cling to this promise. Our God will not abandon us. He will not forget his covenant. He remains faithful because he cannot deny himself. Let this truth sink deep within our hearts. When we feel weak, remember that God is strong. When our faith falters, know that his faithfulness endures. When we are tempted to despair, recall that our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. May we carry with us the assurance of God's faithfulness. May it strengthen us in times of doubt, comfort us in times of sorrow, and inspire us to live greater faithfulness. God's peace and many blessings be with you. And thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.